social media that can give you that digital footprint so that you can show that you're actually serving folks, so that you can bring people, even on your shoestring budget, to your organization, and then ultimately bring dollars in because you're doing that.
I agree with you to a certain extent, DeAndre. All that money that's going to be dropping on the west side of Chicago, all those people are people where Metropolitan Family Services their physical agent, and the people that's connected to them. And that's kind of unfair, because those are the people that's got the $1 million budgets. So everybody that's connected to those people who have Metropolitan Family Service, they're going to feed their people some money. And it's still, you still have grassroots organizations that's out here doing the work. But because they don't have that money and that connection, they're always the ones that's being looked over. You know, somebody from that organization go work with the governor's office, now they getting that money. And it's just, it's not fair. It's not fair. But that's just my whole spiel of it. But back to what Elise did. Elise did a great job. I applaud her. I wish the next time it might be able to be a little bit longer and include more children. But we do need to hear what our youth have to say. That is so important. And there were organizations up there that represent the youth, but the youth wasn't part of the panel.
Right.
Well, hopefully Elise will be on so she can talk about that in depth. Because I'll be curious what happened, because I didn't go. Maybe she got to hear from her own mouth what the plan was, what went down. So, nevertheless, somebody told me it was a gun violence.
Gun violence. Yeah. I mean, violence prevention, gun violence, public safety. The umbrella is.
What was it at?
The same. It was at the family place at Breakthrough.
Interesting. So now,
like I said, Athena is here. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I told her she want to come on. Come on now.
Hey, Athena, I don't know. I know you can hear me. I think you can hear me. If you want to come on, just pop on camera, and Steve will bring you into the show. If you want to go ahead and go now. Otherwise, we can keep chit-chatting. Huh?
Did you say it too?
Yeah, she's on. I'm telling you, she's in the back room.
Okay. Unless you guys want to continue down this lane about what happened. While we are on this, talking about this, the mayor came over to the Garfield Park Golden Dome Wednesday for an appearance to unveil his 10 community public safety initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the odd thing about that was the room looks like it holds about 200-300 people easily. And I want to say there was maybe 75 people outside of all of the other people, the other 25, 30 that were working with the mayor and the groups that came to work with him. I thought it was somewhat interesting, considering they want to look at getting careers for people to get them out of the violent situation. They don't want to say jobs. I said jobs and I got jumped all over. No, a job is this. I'm like, okay, a career. We want to make medical doctors out of them and professors. That's what we want to do.
Really?
So, let's consider how many eons that'll take. But
what are they going to do about student loans? Sorry,
loans?
That's just me.
No, I'm going to put that up because the deal was they're going to pay for their education and they're going to pay for their transportation. They're going to pay for their daycare. But my thing was, because I ended up getting asked questions by not Channel 7, but the Chicago Tribune did an article piece with me along with Brandon Johnson. And I said, literally, from my experience, I had a young man that when I was teaching at Daly College in the advanced manufacturing program, he was doing great. He was just recently released from federal penitentiary under, I don't know what the case was, but I know who was involved. And they're from the west side. But nevertheless, you gotta look at the article. I said that what they really need, they need money. If you're going to send these people to work, to learn careers, you got to pay them to be there because they can't give up their hustle. How do they eat? How do they feed their kids? How do they do whatever they need to do? You're saying give up what you're doing on the streets to go take on a career, but you got to pay your rent. You got to eat. So how do you, and I brought up the idea, or not the idea, but what happened during COVID. Money came out of the air during COVID. So money came out of there to stimulate things then. Why can't we stimulate with money now? And give the people what they need. If you want them to get away from the violence and the things that you see as wrong, pay them to go do that. And let them gain the education.
Well, Steve, LaShawn Ford has been saying that for years. You're telling them to put the guns down, the drugs down, but what are you giving them? He's been saying that for years. I don't know. I want to stay hopeful, but sometimes it gets very dark and gloomy. But LaShawn Ford has been saying that for many, many years.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because if LaShawn been saying that, isn't he part of the General Assembly? Doesn't he have a stronger voice than you and I? Doesn't he represent the masses? So he ain't got no clout either. He's just talking.
But you know what, Steve? He's always putting out stuff. He's one person. He's always putting out stuff about jobs. LaShawn Ford is one of the few that I could say over here on this West Side, elected official. He's one of the few that I can only speak for me, that I can call and he'll return my call. Some of them you don't hear from him until an election, but in my experience, LaShawn has not been like that. I can only talk about what I see, and he has not been like that.
My experience with LaShawn, he only called me when he wants something, and that happened to be the flood. He wanted the whole list. He's like, "Let me get that list, man. What you gonna do with the list?" Well, I'm gonna go. I got the ear of the mayor. I said, last time I checked, the mayor had 2 ears. I talked to him too. So why do you need the list that I got to go take to the mayor? But I can go on and on about LaShawn. You got a better relationship. I've known her for about 20 years, and it ain't been that much greater than it is. So, yeah.
I won't say a relationship. I just want to hope that he respects me enough. I think that when I call him, he'll return my call. I don't get that from a lot of them. That's all I'm saying. And I respect that.
What about his throughput? Is he getting any throughput?
What I've called him for, he has helped me with. He really has.
That's cool. So now we know who to go to. If he making moves,
I'll say this, similar to Berkeley, that's my island neighbor. And when we last year did our youth leadership development down on the island with the Safe and Peaceful grant funding, I was bringing some civically engaged folks down to have a conversation with the youth, and he popped out. I asked him. Absolutely. So he came to talk to them about what being a state rep was and how things get passed. And these were young kids, so they probably under 12 to maybe the oldest probably was like 14. So they weren't trying to hear a whole lot, but still, he was one of the ones that was available and came on down there. So, you gotta, like Ms. Bertha said, sometimes some of them, you gotta look at for what it is. Some don't answer the call, and some do. I would say many don't answer. Right. And some do, and I can attest that, in some respect, he's one of them.
Well, we got to get him to work with the others so we can get something done on this West Side from the General Assembly's perspective. One of the things we really need to look at, because I'll say this for the third week in a row, we have a severe problem with gun violence in this city. And it ain't just pop up overnight. It started 25 years ago and more. Again, I'll bring up the assault weapons ban was lifted in 1999 by the federal government, allowing people to carry AKs, ARs, not the fully equipped ones, but they can have those. Then the second thing was the death penalty was abolished in the state of Illinois. Now guess what? I can carry an AR and shoot you and kill you, and you ain't gonna get me killed because I ain't no death penalty if you catch me. The third thing was the concealed carry. Concealed carry in the city of Chicago with the dense population that we have. I don't understand it. We deal with data for many years, but we got it now, and it just seems like everybody thinks they're supposed to have a gun because they never even taken the class or to have a board card and say, it's the law. I can have a concealed carry.
Yeah, I got my 40 piece on me. It's in the car right now.
Okay, well, hold on, because
I'm not finished.
Okay, go ahead.
The fourth thing is, we all of a sudden we end up with legalized marijuana 5 years ago, which is okay, because guess what? I hope everybody's smoking. Mellow out. Stop all this craziness.
Yesterday was a holiday. 420.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, 420.
Okay.
That was a holiday.
So, okay, mellow out. But we got police was dragged out of the cars and shot to death. So,
yeah.
Okay, so it ain't, so you know why? Because they smoking weed that's tainted. Because the police don't stop them. The police have already told us. They say literally, if we catch you with the weed, we got to write a ticket. We ain't writing no ticket because we got to wait for a superior officer, a lieutenant, a captain, or commander to come down with the ticket book. That's a state ticket book. So they say, smoking weed, we ain't going to do nothing. They ain't even testing the weed that they catch them with. Because it could be tested with what they put, embalming fluid to make them whack out. Mm-hmm. Lord knows if they put fentanyl in it, they dead. So, that's another situation. And let's go to the last thing that just happened. We just got no cash bail a year ago. So let's put this together. I can carry AK-47 as long as it's a pistol grip with the strap and the barrel is not the wrong barrel on it. That's considered a concealed carry. So I can do that. And if I shoot you and kill you, I ain't gonna get the death penalty. But if I just possibly maim you a little bit, I can get out on cash bail and smoke my tainted weed all day long. So tell me what the problem is. It's the system. And we're not saying anything to those legislative bodies to say, we need laws to change this stuff because it ain't working.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Steve.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I was trying to interject, but he said let him finish.
I got you. Go ahead. Take
okay, cool. Spots. Okay, so there's a little bit of misinformation in some of the things you were saying. Me being from Chicago, all of my family are from Chicago, generation after generation, and it's not the weed. You know what I'm saying? It's not the weed, and weed is not broadly. I'm not saying not all, and you didn't say all either. But most of the time, the weed is not laced, and the weed is not going out to making someone go commit a crime. And also with the concealed carry, even if you get driver's license, you have the potential to crash. And if you get a concealed carry, you have the potential to accidentally discharge your firearm. The problem is the criminal element that plagues the Black community. Guns are not bad, Steve. It's the people with the gun. Wait, hold on. Let me. Can I finish though? Can I have a voice, please? So bad people do bad things, and I've been in the street. I've actually been in the street doing whatever. People are not. I only seen one person doing my soldiering in the streets on the west side with the AK-47. People are not walking around with AK-47s. Like you talking to somebody who had multiple AK-47. People are not walking around shooting people with AK-47s. That is the dumbest way to go do some things. People are walking around with 38 specials, high points, 9mm, and they're criminals, Steve. This is a criminal problem. What it is the Democrats are weak on crime. Look at Ron DeSantis in Florida. He said if you do anything pedophilia-wise, you get the death penalty. If you go in these stores stealing, and also if you make a Facebook post about you going to recruit people or you organizing this over, we're gonna add another charge. If you stealing packages off people porches, you will be sued. You will be held accountable. You will be held. So people are not going around just shooting people with concealed carry. That's not true. Otherwise, you would hear about it. It's just black on black crime. It's just black men raised by their mother, single women. They got attitudes like their mother. They don't know how to conflict resolute because they don't have fathers. And then they get mad and angry and they go out and shoot somebody. That's exactly what's going on.
Right. Well, let me get that clarity to you again. For the third weekend, I've said, as far as people doing concealed carry, the criminal element and the like, people even like you when you was on the street, they are out there saying it's the law, man. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I work with law enforcement. They even told me. My cousin's a narc. He told me when he pulled these guys over on the corner, the first thing he said, "You got any weapons, anything sticky on you that I might stick myself with?" First thing he said, "Yeah, I got my gun." He said, "You got concealed carry?" "No, I don't have concealed carry." "You got your 4 card?" "No, I don't have that." "You take the class?" "No, it's the law, man. I can still." "No, it ain't. Come on, let's go put these cuffs on and let's go on down where we got to go. And that's what I'm saying. It's
not the law.
That's what I'm saying.
That is, no. I know what he's saying. There is nobody over there talking about, oh, I could carry a gun because the law said it. Like, nah, that ignorance of the law is no excuse.
That's my
ignorance
point.
So you can't blame concealed carry versus ignorance of the law. They're not even following the law. You have to go take your class. You got to take your 16 hours. You got to get your FOIA card. You have to.
I'm saying that people are using that as their ignorance as, man, I could do this.
Rationale.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And I think it's increased because of the law. People are trying to use it, man, I could do this, And it's like, no, you can't. You got to go. Let's put these bracelets on and let's go on down here what we got to do. And that's all I'm saying. But let's go back to the marijuana because, so weed, right? So you telling me if you take the weed, especially if it's with embalming fluid, it does nothing to the person?
That's not weed, Steve. That's leaf. That's not weed.
Okay, but what's leaf then? Break it down. You a botanist, you a chemist.
Okay, so leaf is when you grab marijuana, you dip it in embalming fluid, you mix other things to it. That's not weed at that point. That's not weed at that point. You're going to go look for PCP. You're talking to somebody who dealt with this stuff. They're going to go look for PCP. That person will commit a crime off PCP. It's not the weed, it's the PCP. And it's the fentanyl inside the drugs that's causing these people to do it.
Okay, I'm glad you brought the fentanyl up because I brought that up before, and somebody said if weed was laced with fentanyl, they'll be dead. So, is that true?
No. You can. So when people say they overdose on fentanyl, it's not really an overdose. It's a small concentrated amount can get you can kill you. They got videos of cops arresting people with fentanyl and dying from it. You feel me? Because to overdose on something is to do the same thing multiple times. You feel me? Like my auntie.
How are they ODing? Are they shooting it? I don't get it.
No, they're not. They're really not. They're really not ODing. They're being poisoned. You feel me? Like you don't never call a poison an overdose. I was poisoned. So when somebody puts fentanyl in something to make it stronger, you're poisoning them. If to overdose is I kept doing cocaine and I overdosed on cocaine. That's an overdosage. But to die off fentanyl is really to die from being poisoned.
So how they get the fentanyl in their system?
They getting the fentanyl in their system. They getting the fentanyl through the system. People stepping on it. People selling heroin. People selling cocaine, and they ain't got a lot of cocaine. So they putting fentanyl in it to make it stronger, and people are dying off of that. Especially if you go get cleaned, if you go to get clean and you clean off drugs for about 3 weeks, and you go back and you hit that fentanyl, it is likely to kill you. I had an aunt that died like that.
Wow.
And it's coming from over the border. We got weak border laws too. We let 8 million people come in this country, and a lot of these people are drug smugglers bringing this stuff to our. That's why people be like, "Hey, they don't care about the black community."
Let me guess. You saying that they don't do drugs, then, right? I got a hand up. I got a hand up too. Go ahead, Bertha first. Bertha, you got a response?
Steve,
Yes.
if we're going to have a discussion about drugs like this and overdose and what caused it, can we have a professional that come on and talk about it, please? Versus us just giving out opinions on what we think it is. Can we do that? Is that a possibility?
Oh yeah, definitely, because I need some clarity. I thought my man was a pharmacist the way he was going, but
Yeah, but y'all ain't never been in the street, Steve. Steve, you ain't never been in the street. What you sold? Have you ever sold or cooked cocaine?
No,
Steve, I've never been in the streets, but as a nurse for over 40 years, I'm asking you, if we're going to have discussions like this for our community, as a nurse, I ask you that you bring someone in that's qualified to talk about it.
Yeah, we're bringing the West Side opioid.
How you qualified because you white booty for a living?
Yeah. No, that ain't the case. The case is
I'm gonna get off, Steve, because I said I was a nurse, and then we go with our white booties. Every time
that's what nurses do.
Negative. No, dear, I don't know where you got your information from. So that makes me more think that you're not the person to be telling people about drugs. I'm gonna talk to you all later, Steve. You all have a good day.
All right, but as he said, that's his opinion. I gave my opinion, what I thought it was. He gave an opinion. If we want some clarity, we'll get fireworks with that.
Yeah, that's what I understand. West Side opioid task force.
You should bring them up. Because she's putting in an assertive effort to rid it, especially the fentanyl. What you got to say, Tiny? You next?
I just came in, so I'm just listening.
Oh, I thought you had your hand up.
No.
But my point was, again, because of the violence that I was getting the issue of why we can't talk to the General Assembly, the congressional members we know, and say, how are we going to turn this around? Because we're constantly talking about violence. Three kids were shot. One killed this week in back of the yards. Where's the back of the yards? It's Marysville, one of them.
The back of the yard.
Back of the yard. I mean, I had 4 people call me this week to have a repast at NAC. And 3 of them, they said that their sons were killed. And one of them told me that the son was coming home from work out south on 80th or something. He was trying to go into his apartment and he got caught in a crossfire between somebody shooting. So that's my biggest fear is the crossfire shooting.
At the height of violence across the nation, which was the 90s, was young people also victims of gun violence like this?
Absolutely. They were the bigger perpetrators back then.
So we are not facing something that is new then.
No.
But what happened back then? What was the questions like then? I was too young in the 90s. I was jumping off the porch.
Back then, the questions were, the law enforcement needs to be tighter on crime. But now law enforcement is saying our hands are tied. We can't chase people. We can't do this. We can't we gotta write a ticket for weed.
Well, so what we're experiencing is the shifts of the system. Back in the 90s, when crime was at its all-time high, they introduced legislation that forced folks into jails, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And now in these late 2000s, we are now shifting back to where we're saying the harm that was due in the 90s is influencing what's happening now, and we have to be a lot lax. And that's my ultimate problem with the system as it exists. We keep moving from one extreme to the other. And that's partly due to the fact that politics are so polarizing today. It's okay to have two different parties, but the sheer fact of the matter is that neither party can actually come to a mutual middle ground agreement to decide as a nation what works best for the nation. Yes, your state is different from my state. So what we're doing in Chicago, they should not be doing in Seattle, Washington. They should not be doing in Dallas, because we are an individual state, county, city. So that makes sense for your close to home legislation to look different. But when we're talking about across the nation, the problem is that you cannot get anybody to come to the table earnestly to set aside whatever differences they have, because both sides want to win. And when you have both sides wanting to win, nobody ends up winning. What they say, nobody wins when the family feuds.
I don't know if that's politically correct. I think they were always polarized. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they were. Right?
The only thing that's different is just they try to put a face to a Democrat and a face to a Republican. I mean, there really was no real face to it, but you just had separate parties. But all you ever hear is, the Democrat did that. Really? We all got in this boat together. So,
well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Right.
That's CBS News Chicago.
It's been an ongoing thing. Yeah. You can say maybe they were not as polarized, but I disagree, because during the Reaganomic years, man, I swear to God, it was the most horrible time in my lifetime. Yeah. Other than the 60s probably. But nevertheless, Reaganomics was no joke. And if anybody on this call can tell me they were that prosperous, please do so. In the 80s. Because I need to know. $3.25 an hour minimum wage, and there were no jobs even for that. So, I mean, it's a hard. I knew one guy said he was making $10 back then, $10 and something, or 12. No, he might have said 15 back then. He was working as a tool maker, and I said, man, you were doing really good. God bless you. But you only one person I met in 45 years or 40 years that said that, and he wasn't black either, so let's start with that. How did he end up getting a $15 an hour job, and he wasn't even fully trained as a tool maker? Could have been an apprenticeship program, man. But nevertheless, he said it was great. And I look at greatness this way. If I'm doing great, and I look to the left of me, and that person's doing great, and I look to the right of me, and that person's doing great, you know what? It was great. Something's great going on. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You
so
don't
right up at
2016?
What's that?
You don't remember 2016?
No, I have no idea what happened there.
Oh, it was great. 2016.
What was 2016? Enlightened.
2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. It was some good years. Like what you just described, and what you just described, Steve, is what I described 3 shows ago. I said, man, I remember a time where I looked, this cousin had a job who never had a job. He had a job. Everybody was working. The economy was good. Everything, inflation was low. Yeah, I remember a time like that.
Oh, we were coming out of the recession of 2008 to 2012, probably. Maybe that's
no. It was recent years during the COVID.
COVID wasn't 2016.
It was 2019, but I'm just saying those formidable years was pretty good.
COVID didn't start until 2020.
No,
But
COVID started in 2019, but what I'm saying is those years was good. Like this 2017 was good. 2016 was good. Like the economy was doing good. The inflation was low and jobs were at an all-time high at that time and unemployment was real low.
we need to check the facts on that. I don't know about that one. I just know it's usually you're not gonna come out of recession that quick. And I know for sure the bottom fell out in what, 2008 or 2009 when the housing bubble? And that lasted 4 or 5 years. Easy. But, we gotta let our guests come on.
Yo, hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes. Who's calling in?
This is Angela Robinson calling.
No, what do you call on that phone? Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, Breonna Taylor was sleeping. Second of all, if Mosaic did what the other officers done, Mosaic will be suspended and probably fired from the job if he did exactly what the other officers did. And I have a question. The 23-year-old that was the 23-year-old cop, we started to get a lot of these cops are pandemic cops that didn't have any training.
You're talking about, what are you talking about?
Well, I suppose the Dexter Reed piece.
Yeah, what part? I'm confused. We were talking about
Drugs
and
just crime, violence.
crime in general, right?
Okay, but was he talking about the officer?
No, no.
Okay.
No.
You know what's going on? I'm looking at last week's video.
Yeah, so can I get an apology, sister, please? You just threw me under the bus. Can I get an apology, sister?
We online, we live on, we on YouTube. I hope we on Facebook.
No.
But okay, but DeAndre, could you ask me that question? Answer that question for me about the pandemic cops.
Oh yeah.
Because they didn't get any training.
So during the pandemic, they were having smaller sessions, and it was mass. So they did. Look, when it comes to shooting and all of the other pieces that the officers had to go through, I'm not that certain. And I'm only speaking from. I was teaching the Chicago police at the time. I did some stress and resiliency education at the academy in November 2020, going to March 2021. And so I know that they were having like smaller class sessions to get these trainings, and then officers too do a lot of e-training. So if their training was similar to anybody else's in a sense, they probably did a lot more e-training during that time because like all schools generally shifted online at that point. But there were some folks who, whether when they took the vaccine or, masked up and felt comfortable enough, they did go in classrooms, but they were small classrooms. So, so to that point, I would have to actually ask just to see exactly what their training was like during that time period. But I do know they do e-training. I would believe that whatever could have been done without it being in person was transferred to the e-training, and then they did have some smaller classes. So I would think like anything in person, like shooting and all of that stuff, probably still was conducted.
And that's the part that they need the most, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I found you guys.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm on YouTube now.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna switch over and bring in Athena now.
Yeah, we got Athena Williams coming on, y'all.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Hey, Athena, you still there? Well, I know you're there. Okay, cool.
Go ahead, give her an introduction.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. Let me see here. Let me make sure that yo. Yo, Athena, can you say something? I'm just checking.
Hey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just checking everything. And folks, can y'all hear Athena on the Zoom? Athena, you just say hey. Oh, you know what? How about let me do this, and then I'll ask that question as you introduce yourself. So for you all that don't know, Athena is with Oak Park Regional, also services the Austin community through West Cook West Cook Home Partnership, helping to make sure that our community is properly housed through the process of first-time home buyership and all the other facets that go along with trying to secure a piece of investment, if you will, because that's what a house is at this point. Amongst other things, she's also an Austin resident, and so there are big things that are going on in terms of the work that she's doing, including the renovation of the Laramie State Bank to bring some housing and other things to the west side of Chicago along that Chicago Avenue corridor, which is currently being rebuilt so that it reflects the Soul Corridor in Austin. And so, you know, that's just one of the things. And so today she's going to talk a little bit about a summit that's upcoming about housing, some information that you all need to know. And other than that, with me doing that quick little introduction, I'd like for you to go ahead and introduce yourself, Athena.
Thank you, DeAndre. And hey, Stephen.
Hey there.
Thanks for letting me crash you all's party tonight. That was a real interesting conversation. So the name of the agency is Oak Park Regional Housing Center. And the West Cook Homeownership Program is one of our, we have 3 different programs, but that's our program that focuses on homebuyer education, financial education, as well as foreclosure prevention, and then any other type of community outreach around that has anything to do with housing. So with that said, we service the west side of Chicago. Well, we like to call it the greater west side region because we service Fayetteville Township as well. We do have our main office in Oak Park that office focuses on a program called Live in Oak Park, where people who want to move into Oak Park, they meet with us and we help them with that journey as well. But one of the things that we're doing since I become the executive director is we are the recipient of the Laramie State Bank project. So if anyone has driven down Chicago Avenue today at the corner, not today, out in the recent month, on the corner of Laramie and Chicago Avenue, we started construction of the rental project. That's phase 1. It will be a 78-unit rental building with 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. It'll have a courtyard, spanking brand new. It'll have all the amenities that people moving downtown would have. Granite countertops, dishwashers, community rooms, the whole 9 yards. So we're looking forward to that. But what I'm here today is to talk to everybody about, and hey, everybody on Zoom, I'm sorry I can't see you all, but I'm here today to inform the community that we are having our annual Fair Housing Summit. So April is Fair Housing Month. And that's one of the big things that we like to celebrate, is to make sure that people know their rights when it comes to housing, whether it's rental or home ownership. And so this Thursday evening from 6 to 8 at the new facility at 1841 North Laramie, we're going to have the Paul Housing Institute come out and do a presentation on the state of the housing market for the entire West Side, not just Austin, but for Garfield Park, Lawndale, and Austin. We will also have another one of our developer partners come out and talk about all the developments that are happening on the West Side. A lot of people don't know, but in addition to Laramie State Bank, there's the Aspire Center, and then there's quite a few other projects. You all know the Joint Safety Public Academy was just completed, and there's a few other projects that are happening in the 37th Ward. And so we're going to talk about that on Thursday evening, and also talk about how residents can really take part in some of these things that are happening. So it's really important for the community to come out, because I'm just going to say it, the housing market is increasing, and we need to figure out ways to help people who are here to stay in the community, help people who are here to have homes to retain their community. Now that's on Thursday. Then Saturday, we'll be at Michelle Clark, and then from 10 to 12, we'll have a presentation about renters' rights and responsibility. We'll also have a presentation about how to manage your property taxes. The tax assessor's office will be out. And then also there are new laws in home ownership as far as working with renters. And then we'll do a presentation about foreclosure prevention. We really want people in our community, and I will say it, we want to have as many Black folks that are in Austin that are not homeowners to become homeowners in Austin. Austin is changing, and that's what I really want to focus on with this summit. And then from noon to 4, we'll have breakout sessions and vendors as well.
So regentrification is alive again, huh?
Well, it's you call it regentrification, so yeah, it is live, but I'm trying to do my due diligence to try to keep people in place. There's some strategies we have that we've been trying to work with Alderman on, so hopefully we can talk about that a little bit on Thursday night too. But yeah, if we don't show up and take part, then the regentrification will help a lot of people make an exit.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're working on it on the local level. I'd like to see us work on it on a federal level also. You know, that's how, I don't know if you know the story, that's how I came to be with Northwest Austin Council. The phrase regentrification is, I heard it first from DeAndre. I never heard the phrase until, but it is a real word, right?
No,
you made it up.
No, that was no. So regentrification is when people from the community purchase in their community. So myself, who's from Austin, becomes super educated. Instead of leaving and taking all that skills and experience with me, I buy house and build here. So that's what we gotta teach each other too. And that means you build up your community along with it.
Right.
So regentrification in that sense. Gentrification, we know, is when we're replaced. Regentrification is when we stay and build our own community.
Regentrification is FUBU.
I mean,
if you know what FUBU means.
Yeah,
it's actually FUFU. FUFU. Bye.
So that's the biggest part of this, is trying to get people out so that people are aware of what the opportunities are. Right now, Shy Block Builder is the online version is open. People go on Shy Block Builder and pick up these vacant properties, vacant lots.
Right.
There are a lot of investors picking up those vacant lots, but Alderman Miss is working hard to try to make sure that people in her community have access to those vacant lots.
Cool.
So it's a lot happening, and I just want to make sure that we are all a part of that.
Well, I was gonna say, I never told the story, that part of the story. That's how I came to be with Northwest Austin Council, through the term that DeAndre coined, regentrification. When I first came to Northwest Austin Council, my wife and I were looking to buy a property. We looked out in the suburbs. We had lived in Cape Town almost all our lives, and all of our lives. And we went to Bellwood to look at a two-flat right behind the police station in downtown Bellwood. The guys were out on the corner selling drugs. And we were like, man, what are we chasing our shadow here? So someone, I think it was my sister, told me about Northwest Austin Council. And they had a program called First Time Homebuyers, direct sales program, where they would sit the people down, whether you're a couple or not, and ask you some primary questions. Do you have an education? Do you have post-secondary? What have you? Where do you work? What kind of property are you looking for? And they did an application or interview with us. And they said, we have a property you may be interested in. They showed us property on Austin Boulevard. It was pretty run down. Everything was stripped from the property, the aluminum, the matter of fact, when I bought the property, I had removed the radiators and put them on the front, and the guys were still in the radiators as I was in the building. I mean, it didn't look secure, but it was still in the radiators off the front. But nevertheless, we looked at it as a great opportunity to start our family, to start off in Austin, and it's been that ever since, 34 years. So,
Yeah, so we have to really work together to keep our community and just make sure we work together. Somebody mentioned earlier, like, what do we do about this, about the crime? So one of the things we're going to do on Thursday night is talk about community safety. DeAndre, you were there when Pastor Epstein was talking about the Night Walks program.
Absolutely.
So he's gonna come out and do a short presentation on that. Hopefully we can recruit people that want to participate in the Night Walks program. So basically that's where on Wednesday, similar to the 100 Block 100 churches, but it's more coordinated at this point to do more outreach on the block, to be in front of the mobilization, like, you know how we typically mobilize after a shooting or after something happened. Now
Right.
it's more to mobilize on the front end
Right.
and
You're
mobilize
talking about
on
the,
those
you're
blocks
talking
and
about
not just
the,
stand on the corner. So it's a big effort. I think we all have to try to figure out how to put our heads together and deal with this. And I hear what you're saying, Stephen, about that, you know, being the crossfire. So my son, he was caught in crossfire at La Follette Park in 2006. So I get it. You know, that was one of the things that really catapulted me to really focusing on supporting the community through working with nonprofits. So yeah.
what does ART stand for? Austin Response Team.
I'll
Yeah.
respond.
Yeah, so that's always responding after something happens. You're right. So
Right.
you gotta be more,
But the night walks is to be in front of
right.
a response.
Let me tell you
And
a
it's
little.
not just on the corner, it's going door to door.
Let me tell you a little bit about that. The predecessor of that was what we call, Northwest Austin Council again. When I came here, they had a program called Operation Rolling Thunder, and it was the CB Patrol, which I don't know if everybody understands. CB was Citizen Band radios, which the truck drivers used to have, but I still have the old 1980 or 79 CB Patrol radio set that they used because no one had phones back then, and they would walk the block and they would, call it back into the main unit, and the main unit would get on the phone and call the police if they needed to come out. So yeah, it works. It's obviously an effective thing. This trail using it 40 years later, 35 years later or more, in a different format. But hey, we gotta do everything. What do they say about public safety? It's not the police's job. It's everybody's business.
I mean, that's essentially what Lisa's efforts yesterday were about. Just having like I say, it was a multidisciplinary approach. And that's what it is, ultimately. It's a multidisciplinary approach.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, realistically, that's what the mayor's safety plan was about. It's what he was telling y'all.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But they kind of honed in on
the organization, though.
That was that meeting at Garfield Park, DeAndre.
Right, yeah.
Right. That one they kind of honed in on careers. Because the person that came to our table, we did breakout sessions. All she kept asking was like, well, what can we do to get these guys jobs? I said, jobs. She said, we don't want them to have jobs. We want them to have careers. Absolutely. I want everybody to have something that's sustaining and that can keep them going. But, I just couldn't see how all of that was going to happen. I told her about the story with the guys during the pandemic.
Yeah.
When you went out to drop off the food, and I said, DeAndre, when you get on that spot, man, when you go past, don't eyeball those guys, because they just had a murder over there, and they're on red alert right now. So don't stop and don't look at them. And the one guy looked at him and he called it. He said, "Twin," and what did he do? He did exactly what I told him not to do. He backed up, and he said, "Man, I knew the guy knew me because nobody knows me other than twins. They know my history. They know I got a twin." So the guy, what did he say to you? Like, what were you? He was
asking me what I was doing, and I told him, we out here doing this community work. She's like, we looking for help me get a job.
Right. Mm-hmm. And DeAndre came back and told me, he said, "Steve, we can help these guys, man." I said, "Yes, we can. Ms. Jacobs got the access to the jobs. We can get them transported there and back, all of that. But the only problem I feel and fear is that we don't want to let them down by, how do I put it, confusing them that you get into this job, it's going to be a cakewalk. I said, DeAndre, if we could sit down and walk them through this and see how they really feel about certain things, because if they're used to being on these corners for 8-10 hours a day, they leave and go and do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They can go urinate on the side of the building and all this, whatever they're doing. But as soon as you get them in the job, all that's got to cease and desist. So are you ready for that? When the man tells you.
So Steve, you want to do a Saturday morning workshop with them for 90 minutes? Bring them into your space, do a 90-minute workshop, soft skills. This is what working on a job is like.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem, but we do need to have the proper people to administer it. That's all I'm saying. Because the next step is, like they say, we want to create the pipeline, which we do. We can do that. I'm sure Ms. Jacobs, she's there online. We should be able to facilitate as long as people want and they're gonna do. We're gonna be right there for them to make sure we can get that to happen.
Yeah. I was messing with Athena when we was doing the workshop. She was focusing on healthier eating habits. This stuff is really good. I've been eating it with whole vegetables. So this is a little cauliflower, some broccoli, carrot. It's good with everything. So if you haven't gotten this, show you one more time. You should try this.
Well, read the nutritional label. The ingredients. What's the ingredient?
Pasteurized milk and cream, cucumbers, wheat protein, skim milk, red bell peppers, salt, onion, carrot, celery, bell peppers, vinegar, minced garlic, minced roasted onions, carrot, green bell peppers. Again, for whatever reason, unless it's a green bell pepper.
The whole garden,
but it got citric acid, real bell pepper, spice, natural flavor, green onion. The only thing is probably the natural flavor, whatever it is. But no, this is healthy. I wouldn't even told you this is.
Hey,
I read labels. I'm reading labels.
You got to do a disclaimer on that one, because we need some kickback. I think we're gonna be doing promos for products, especially that one.
Anybody got any questions about it?
Yeah, any questions, y'all? Go ahead. Shoot them at Athena. What's your name? Athena Williams. Y'all got any questions regarding
about housing? Okay, so I guess everybody own a house and everybody is stably housed.
No.
And everybody know what's getting ready to happen on Chicago Avenue.
No, give them a second. They're trying to unmute, bro. I can unmute them, but I don't know. Anybody got their hands up? Or if you feel like you want to say something, go ahead and say it. Miss J, you got something?
Yes, I want to know, how long is it before they finish that place up on the corner?
So the first phase, the residential, will be done in June of next year. We'll be moving people in June of next year. So in April of next year, well, actually you can go to the website now and just do an inquiry. But in April of next year, we'll start the wait list.
So is that going to be like for the apartments and what's going to be inside offices and things in there?
The bank building will have a bank and a small business incubator.
A bank?
So
the residential is 78 apartments.
Mixed use is what they call it.
Oh, okay.
So that sounds lovely?
Okay.
You said, okay. I said, that sounds lovely. Is that something that's appealing to the community?
Well, it's going to be apartments like for low income.
So it's mixed income. So it's mixed income according to the area median income for Austin. The area median income for Austin is about $38,000. So a one bedroom there be about $850, $900 for a one bedroom, but it includes all the utilities.
Okay, now, let me say this. Okay, now we are talking about apartments, and we're already on this thing about housing for people. People are looking for housing, and other people is getting housing. What's happening? Going to be happening with our people? You saying the apartments is going to be going like for 800 or however much, one bedroom?
Go ahead, Sandra.
No, she said they'll be going for about 850. She said it matters on the AMI of the Austin community, which is basically a collection of median income rates, a stretch, which I don't like this, but it stretches for how many miles east and west and north and south of Austin?
Yeah, so when they do the area median, well, the area median income is really about the metro area.
Right.
So what they do is they take the entire metro area, they take everybody's income,
Right.
and then they figure out like what percentage have this amount. So in Austin, 60% of the people in Austin have a $38,000 a year income.
Okay.
So that's what the rents are based on.
Okay. So Ms. Jacobs, 60% of the people in Austin make about $38,000. The rent will be based on that, and the one bedroom will be somewhere in between $850 to $900.
So that don't accommodate, I'm just making an example, that doesn't accommodate people, say, for instance, is out here looking for housing.
And I don't think that 850 or 900 is really affordable for most of the people who need housing.
That's
it's
what I'm
not
saying.
affordable for a lady on welfare working a minimum wage job with 2 or 3 kids. That's not affordable. I don't know where they get that mess from, but it's not affordable.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm saying it's based on the AMI, the area median income. And the
it don't matter. It don't matter because I think that median income is wrong.
I agree, but that's what I was gonna say because they take
so
the metro.
I think that's faulty. That's very faulty, and it sounds like greedy money, grabbing, hungry people to pay off the mortgage for building that residential complex. It doesn't sound like they're here to help. Not to me.
Ms. Houston, if you looked around the area, a 1-bedroom apartment in the worst part of Austin is going to cost you, almost $1,000.
Okay, but that doesn't mean it's right. That means the landlord is greedy.
So that means
that's what it means to me, because I think a 1-bedroom apartment, not unless you have roommates to help you meet that. That's not normal for an average low-income person.
I'm gonna tell you this, Miss Houston, I'm a landlord.
Well, then you greedy. Then you greedy if you charge you that much for low income.
No, it's not called greedy. It's called keeping my property. Because if I don't pay the taxes, ain't nobody gonna have nothing. These taxes are ridiculous.
Well, you can't make everybody pay to help make your bills. That's your bills. That's your responsibility. And I understand you want to make a profit. I understand that, and you want to maintain your property. I understand that. Then you don't rent to low-income people.
But okay, so the way it's set up, because it's mixed income, the market rate is very close to what the low-income amount would be because of the salary, right? We have to have a percentage, and I think our percentage is probably about 40% of the units. And when I do the presentation on Wednesday, so Ms. Jacobs, you should come Thursday evening, so you can see this particular presentation. When we have about 40% of the units that are low income, but even at low income, she would have to, let me pull up the list. I'm going to use the example you gave. You said a single mother that's on, did she say public aid?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk, wait a minute. We're talking about public aid in Austin community. How can a homeless person get housing in those apartments? Just say, for example, a homeless person looking for housing. How can he pay rent?
So a homeless person would have to go through a homeless program to pay rent. These apartments are for people who are ready to pay rent or have jobs and can pay rent, or for seniors who are on a senior building, but they come here, they can move in here instead of being on a wait list for a senior building. Right. So people who are homeless, there's a different route that they would go through because 97% of homeless people need other services as well.
So actually, it's not for low-income people then. It's for the middle of the low-income people. It's not actually for low-income people. Because
because most of them on Social Security, and they get what, maybe 600-700 a month,
Well,
unless
Well,
they have an alternative way of supplementing their income. So I think that's a wrong statement to say low income. I think that's just part of the game to say low income when it's not actually low
it's not.
income.
I don't think it's for Austin community, because Austin community, majority is low income.
but here's the deal. All right, median income is about 26,000. That's we generally it's maybe 28. It's about 28. So that is a little higher.
For Austin?
Yeah, for Austin. Yeah.
It's $38,000.
The median income for Austin right now is 38. Okay. Well, the median income for Austin is $38,000. That's actually above poverty level. That's like basically almost $12,000 above poverty. So technically, the way it's written, I mean, people that you can consider that to be low income, but that's actually better than federal poverty level. So we're not poor. That's what that suggested.
Yeah, but you know what? I gotta agree with the sisters. This seems like definitely seemed like a scam, because I'm pretty sure when them people move in there and they making it 38,000, all you gotta do is get one raise, and they probably gonna raise your rent up even more higher because you make over the threshold. So it's like they create these programs to keep you contained in a certain medium income, because if you make it 50,000 a year and you apply for this building, you might not either get the housing or they might go up on the rent. So it's like I think this is just another predatory scheme for Black people instead of like helping Black people actually.
Because you got a raise. I've never heard of that. How do they know you get a raise? How does the landlord know that you get a raise?
Okay, so let me teach you about low income real quick. When you're in a low income, the people that got you into that building, they know how much you make, and you have to give them. See. Let me tell you about this, Steve. You have to give them your bank account. You can't have over $3,000 in your bank account when you in these low income places. Because when they find that out, they're like, you saving and you doing good? Cool. Your rent finna jump up. You feel me? That's why you think a lot of people who looking for low income, they'll take some days off work. You know what I'm saying? So they can send the low income people, they check like, look, this is how much I'm getting. And based off of that, they're going, all right, cool. So it's definitely a scam, and there's definitely a lot of predatory, greedy landlords out here that's just really taking advantage of people in the Black community.
So we don't look when we process applications for the rentals, we will not be looking at their bank account. And because the city of Chicago is the note holder for the property, we will not be going up on the rent every year. And also because we do have a certain amount, like I said, a certain amount that's low income, they do have to meet a threshold. And if they go over, then there's a workout plan for them, because this particular development has a tenant success program attached to it. So it's not, and this is one thing I want us to try to get away from. When we bring something into the community, because I think somebody else said we need low income, but then somebody else is saying it's a scam for low income. Let's try to get to the place where we can try to figure out how to make the best thing work for the community that we can. What you think, DeAndre and Steve?
Somebody said low income and Section 8 are similar.
Look, I'm in a whole different direction. I want us to build our skills. At the end of the day, I mean, one of the things that I'm sitting here thinking about is how white folks that go to college or otherwise typically work together. You will have 4, 5 college buddies living downtown, paying X amount of rent, and figuring out how to cohabitate till they reach a point where they can go afford something that's larger than we can even think about. And then I'm thinking about when we 18 in our families, we got to get the fuck out. and we have no plan for survival. We don't understand any way of living, and then we got to figure out and be in these positions where we're still desolate and destitute. And it is a problem for me to sit and think that my people do not have it in them to build the competency necessary to obtain higher paying jobs so that they can have better wages, so they don't have to live in these type of, or have to even think about these type of scenarios. So my thing is, sometimes it ain't about doing the right thing. It's about doing the white thing. Like, come on, man. Like, can we build community in the right way, save our money so that we can actually afford something? Can our parents stop putting us out before time so we could hold Nana Korea together?
I think the teenagers that get put out before time, they not minded. They want to be grown, but they don't want to pay no bills. They want to be grown, but they don't want to follow no rules.
Parents, that's on the parents. That's on the parents.
But you 18. If you ain't learned it by then, you ain't gonna learn it. You definitely gonna learn
every
it.
teenager.
You a bad parent.
Every teenager's mental development will see them test their parents. At the end of the day, that is something that you have to work through. It doesn't matter who you are. You will always try to oppose your parent as a teenager because your mental development ain't there.
You can be Teresa as the mother and Jesus Christ as the father. As soon as they get around some idiots on the street, they're gonna pick up that idiot crap. And then they're gonna have to be with them streets. That's all to it. I mean, you can't, man, you let your kids not mind you.
But nature versus nurture is always an argument. But I have a stronger inclination towards nurture because I understand the necessity of having your kids be involved in things, programs to keep them away from that. Making sure, like, we went to summer camp when we was kids. Love that. Our parents, y'all gonna get up out of here for 3 to 6. What was it, about 3 months?
You probably learned some of the worst habits you ever did.
No, sir.
Oh no, we had it. Yeah, it was great.
We had a great time. We waking up, going to Wisconsin, whatever, doing polar bears, eating cattails.
Wasn't not one kid in there trying to burn the camp down.
Oh no, that was us. No, trust me.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, oh damn, the Rudis is back. Oh damn. They brought their little brothers. I'm just saying, but at the end of the day, though.
No, you're right.
But
it is about getting people away from their
environment. You gotta get kids, like, and that's the thing, man. Yeah. The most successful kids today are those whose parents invest in them and make sure that they're like, I mean, we will always find a group in life, and we will gravitate to that, but all of the people that I know that are like, feel super nerdy in their 30s, their parents made sure they were doing things. They had friends that were like-minded doing nerdy things. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just, to me, I'm start at home type of person. I'm blaming the parents. I don't care how the parent feel, like, I'm blaming you. You did that. That's your child.
Once you become an adult and you want to do adult things, what you gonna tell them? You can't do that.
Yeah, but you're not an adult till you're 21. I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, that's the legal age.
When can you go to the military?
I mean, you can go at 18. But listen.
Well, you old enough to die for the country, but you ain't old enough.
Either we're gonna let the federal government raise our children, or we're gonna raise them ourselves. A person
because actually they're not grown until they're 26.
Right.
Because the car insurance, my car insurance broker told me, he said, your daughter got to stay on your insurance until she's 26. I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really not grown until they're 26, Steve. Go ahead,
yeah. And I was going to say 25 just because of the mental development.
Who's responsible for 18? Well, let's go to this. Are you responsible for every 18-year-old that you produce?
Wait, what do you mean?
Once they turn 18? You're responsible for their actions. If they go out there and slap a bitch and go to jail, you responsible because he's 18, 19 years old. Come get that mama. Come get that dad. That's what you need to do.
I mean, yeah. Your child is an extension of you, just like your partner is an extension of you.
Then you need to keep that child in the house, because ain't no 19, 20-year-old. I'm saying, if they get around the wrong people, they're going to do the wrong thing.
No, that's a fact. They will. will. They will.
And I'm not responsible for everybody's kid out there.
Yeah.
It all
Yeah,
goes
but you
back
know,
to-
you gotta you know, but yeah, but you are a weak parent if your child does that. You're weak. You didn't instill nothing. Hold on. You didn't instill fear in them, and they didn't respect you if your child go that way. They don't respect you, and they wouldn't talk. They had no fear or no consequences. Like
I'm gonna tell you, listen. My son started smoking weed in high school. And he started smoking weed in high school because he got around them white boys. That's the only people he was around. And I'm looking like, I don't smoke weed, never have, never will, never even touched it. His mama never did, but he got around them white guys, and the white guys at St. Pat turned him on to weed. And I'm like, where you get this from?
Well, look.
He wasn't scared. He wasn't scared.
Weed because my stepfather was celibate.
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
You know,
that's internal culture there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, going again with the nature versus nurture, and then my friends was too, though. You know, so now it's like, you know, you become more a little inundated with this stuff because this is the stuff that they're doing.
Don't get me wrong. When I was in high school, guys smoked weed, I was on a wrestling team. Yeah, all the wrestlers drank they drank wine. They used to go to the store. It was called White Force. That was cheap wine. Man, at the end of the season, the wrestling coach came in and checked to clean out the locker room. All them bottles hit the ground like you at the slot machine. He said, Lord, I got a team full of wine here. And I'm like, yes, you do, coach. Yes, you do. But back then, they would offer me this, man, you want to drink, Steve? I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. And then they say, more for me. And I'm like, okay, good. More for you, you do you.
Yeah, I think, but again, you know, one of the things that, you know, is different today than yesteryear is that the information is available. Nobody was thinking along the lines of a child's development peaks at 25 or a person peaks at 25. We didn't understand the necessity of speaking affirmation to our child. Again, I've been always smart my whole life, but my mom, being that she was raised in the streets, I was all types of bitches. Smacked across my face for wanting to be independent.
Right.
So I mean, you know, this is stuff that you have to, you know, go through and grow up through.
Only reason I say you learn it in the streets because the influences that I could have adopted and adapted to, they were coming from the streets for me. They weren't coming from my house. They weren't coming from nobody around me. But I guess I was fortunate enough to have grown up. My brothers and sisters were always older than me. You know, when I was a child, they were already teenagers.
Yeah,
when I was a teenager, they were adults. You know, so they weren't, you know, doing the right things. But then again, you know, I'm out there going to school. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm hearing but I'm stepping away from it. And you know what the thing that really deterred me was the fact that I did have older brothers and sisters. And if I got into something, I couldn't bring them into it because I was in a child's world. And I understood that. That would make it worse because they can't get into a child's world and correct my problems. So I had to correct them for myself by staying away from it. And now I don't do that. I'm good. Call me what you want, you know. But it worked. And it worked.
Well, I mean,
it worked for me. I told Raheem Young for his show he need to have a category or on one of his shows. Why do women pick bad guys? Yeah, bad boys over the good guys. And the only reason I'm saying that because everybody want to be that bad boy, you know. And it's like, why you want to do that? It ain't gonna end up. The word itself says bad. Why do you?
Cooler. It's much more fun.
Yeah, well.
That's what I mean. When we're younger, we just want to have fun. If anybody has ever gangbanged, sold drugs, or did anything that was against that was made for breaking laws, you know that was fun. It's a rush that comes from it, and those women come from these environments. They want that same rush.
You know what? Tiny even told us that. And Tiny, 80 years old almost. He told us the same thing back when he was young. But I'm gonna tell you the difference between me. I was that kid that sat back and watched all of it go down on the playground, after school. Like, hey, it's gonna be a fight after school. All I want to see is the first hit. I'm gone. Because you know why I want to see the first hit? Because if they come to me with that crap, I already know what to do. You know. You know what I used to see? They take their shirt off. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull that shirt over your head and bust you in your head with my knee. I ain't gonna give you no minute to take your shirt off. We're gonna end all this right now. But I was that kid that sat back and watched and didn't participate and spectate with it. Because I knew where it was going.
I wish I could have been that. All I wanted to do was read. I used to get my face bust every damn day come from school. Then I had to stand up for myself.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Had to, you know what I mean? And beyond that, with having brothers, we always were into it with folks. I mean,
right.
You know, so it was just
what
it is. So.
I mean, just having brothers, that could create a problem because they're gonna think you're a threat anyway. Yeah. Even if you're not a threat, it's a bunch of them. They're the same age. You know.
Oh yeah. A lot of conflict growing up. So ain't no big.
So anyway, y'all, back to the scene. I'm sorry. The housing deal. It sounds like a good program. I mean, again, I'm saying looking at the economy, looking at the rate of inflation, looking at the taxes, I think it's a good price. I mean, if people want it for free, I guess they got to go live in the shelter. Because Steve Robinson can't do free 99 in his place. Because the mayor want his money, the governor want his money, and the president want his taxes too. And
yeah, this is not a housing shelter. So homeless people would have to go to a shelter.
Yeah.
Or through some kind of program. This is a rental. People that are looking to rent an apartment.
You know what? But to the housing.
Okay. If you want people to, I'm saying not you per se, but if these people are gonna rent these apartments, you gotta open up these companies in the community, in the community for jobs. There's no jobs around here in Austin community. So it's got to be jobs. We got to try to find out these companies to open up for our people to pay rent.
So one of because I was just about to enter, and then I got you with this. I don't know if y'all been following City Council, but City Council has just approved 1.25 billion bond borrow that will be going toward job creation and development and housing. The biggest issue with it, though, although it passed, is that the transparency and accountability methods were not put out there, if you will.
Wasn't transparent.
Yeah. So I say that there's going to be some sort of development as it relates to affordable housing. And unhoused, because I believe that is directly supposed to support them and job development and creation. So at this point, it's passed, and so we just got to stay tuned to see where and how it is distributed. But that's all I wanted to put out there to that point.
And then I'll share this. So because we're in that housing space, there are a lot of people who are couch surfing but have jobs. So for example, your people who are tellers at Aldi's or tellers at Walgreens, those are people with jobs, or people who are working at Amazon. Those are people with jobs who want their own apartment.
Right. Yeah.
Well, can I ask you a question? Do they have to have a credit score?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me tell y'all something. Yes, you're saying that there are jobs at Amazon and jobs at Target and all those jobs. Do you know who got those jobs? Do you see those people working? I know who is working because I know at Hostess, they'll have those other people, and my people, our peoples is standing in line to waiting to be called. I experience this every day. I know what's going on.
And I think that housing is just another form of gradually regentrifying the neighborhood. Because they know normal Black people can't afford that. It's called regentrification on the back down low. That's all they doing.
That's it.
Look, no.
And pretty soon this whole area gonna be totally different. They're already working on it.
It's already different.
We cannot keep thinking along these lines. Okay, there are multiple opportunities.
Why can't we? We gotta look out for ourselves. Ain't nobody else gonna do it.
Okay, number one, part of the problem is that you all are voting in progressive people that does not have a black agenda. They have a people agenda. And if you want a person that is focused, they're going to focus on everybody. The problem being America is colorist still. Black people fall the lowest on the totem pole. It goes white, it goes Asian, it goes Latino, then it goes black. If you choose to keep voting for folks that focus on progressive movements, then this
and
is what
that
you're going
is, DeAndre, that's such an unrealistic opinion. My opinion is because number one, you get a politician who talks good talk, you believe them, and once they get in office, it's a bird of a different feather, a color. I do not know not one politician that sticks to the agenda when they're running for an office. Not one. The one closest to it is Danny Davis. All the rest of them, they tell you all kind of BS. Then when it comes down to it, it's something different.
Yeah,
So,
but if a Republican say
we
they
can
don't
vote
want
for
migrants, they
whoever we
ain't
want
putting up
because
migrants.
we understand they're not going to do squat. We just take which one is less evil.
So I also was saying that we cannot continue along this path of the have-not in the sense that we have to make sure that we are continuously telling our people of the opportunities to build their skill set. If we're not speaking to that, then we're no better than the folks that are continuously hand-holding. You know, I grew up on all Section 8 programs like everybody, well, to a degree. I was at food pantries growing up. I was the beneficiary of our early school and after school programs because the benefits were there, food stamps, you name it.
You were a program project child.
Absolutely, but you know what? You got that's the titty. There's the titty. You got to get off of it.
Right.
You got to get off of it, and our people got to get off the damn titty.
But go ahead. I'm gonna tell you this. When you said the pecking order again, what was it?
It's white.
No, you sure ain't Asian?
No,
when it comes back?
no. This is America. America is white.
Okay.
It's white, Asian, brown, Latin, then black. I mean, that's the color order.
Well, let me
Because I don't want to be disrespectful and say yellow, you know what I mean? Right. But I'm just saying, like, if we talk color,
This is what was said to me a weekend ago by my white neighbor. They said to me, Steve, the young white kids can't get jobs. And I'm like, okay, so where's that coming from? I said, I can get you a job, but do they want to do it? Ms. Jackson can get them a job working in the factory, but do they want to do it?
No.
They can get them $15 to $18 an hour. Do they want to accept that? So
no.
When it said to me, I didn't get into the weeds of it all, but I just thought that was the oddest thing to tell me that young white kids can't get jobs.
They have special jobs that they want. And even our own colored people have special jobs. I had a man to come to me in a suit the other day, and I told him about a job at a bakery, and he told me, no, that ain't the job he wants.
Well, I mean, listen, this is America, so I guess we're entitled to being able to go after what we want, but it's all about the work that you put in to get what you want as well. I'm only speaking to where we're going. We are moving fastly into a space where technology will rule the day. It already is.
Right.
We had a quantum supercomputer in the 37th ward. I don't know how many black people are down there, but I'm gonna go ahead on the limb and say it ain't that many.
Right.
So if you want to compete, you got to be in technology. You know what else is fastly improving? The electrical grid, because everything will be ran off electricity. We got to get more people to be electricians and other tradesmen.
Right.
You know,
electrification is coming.
I mean, it's here too, though. And so when you're talking about making sure that our people are prepared, we got to start speaking to the things of where things are going. We've already missed the boat with a whole bunch of other things. And so we got to start to be a little bit more future focused.
And we're not saying go out and get a PhD or a master or a triple master. But go and get We just
You got to get a skill set that's gonna help you pay. To be honest, our kids will rather dance on TikTok rather than figure out how to create content. So
they
that
cash on TikTok.
Right. And I'm not saying, but some of those dances lead to money. But at the end of the day, if you want to talk about the biggest target areas on social media, it's health, it's money, it's relationship, and I'm just gonna call those the three biggest. Right. So it's money, health, and relationship. And if you want to figure out how to make some money in the realm, talk about one of those three things.
You know what I like about the discussion today? We actually touched on all three pillars of Northwest Austin Council. We touched on housing, we touched on public safety, and we touched on education a little bit. But in the reality of it all, the bigger scheme and the scope of it all, we need those things. Which one comes first? That's the question.
Education.
Because guess what? Let me tell y'all something. So the goal for those renters in that building, and I wasn't trying to get into this deep, but since it came up, because we know that our people need help, right? And to your point, DeAndre, if we don't get into the business right now,
right,
we're gonna be left behind. That's the bottom line.
Right.
So hopefully it's 78 units. Hopefully we'll have 200 people apply, and all those people who do not get in there, if there's a plan to continue to work with them to get them somewhere better. Those people that get in there, there's a plan to help them try to do something better, because it's all about us trying to help each other do something different and do something better. Else, I mean, we're instead of us going up, we're going down.
Yeah, right. Well, DeAndre said the number one plan should be education. And I totally agree with that if you are a child. But we have to look at what's going on right now. Everybody's in some kind of house or a trailer or under a bridge. They're being housed somewhere. Education-wise, somebody has learned to read, hopefully.
Not today.
That
was the statistics.
Well, what's the statistics on that, Steve?
4th grade reading level. I saw CPS statistics. For our neighborhood schools, all of our kids are failing the math and reading.
Okay, so
that's COVID too.
So
because
since COVID.
Where I'm going with this is at least they got 4th grade, so they do have some education. But if you dead because you got shot by a stray bullet, because everybody out here shooting and acting stupid, robbing, shooting and killing, so all that other stuff on the table. You're an educated dead person. You educate that person with $1 million house. What's the point? We need, in my mind, if we can't secure and safe and make our areas safe, why do you want to be here?
Yeah.
And get educated here and live here. Why? Why take the risk? We need to correct that part first, man.
You said housing, Steve?
You talked about white people. White people ain't going to no neighborhood if they don't see it safe.
That's a fact.
They ain't saying that. Wait a minute, let me see. They got the little education. They even got the housing money, but they ain't gonna go if it ain't safe. As a matter of fact, you said this a week ago. You said, Steve, people in general don't look at the schools they want to put their kids in and invest on if it's a really good school for them. They look for safety first. Right. If the school is safe, because they know you might get a Columbine, you might get the whatever the one happened out on the East Coast. White people fear that too. But
but if you're not educated, you ain't gonna be safe. How you gonna be like? How you gonna have the reason why white people neighborhoods are safe is because they're educated, not to do dumb shit.
Let me say this. So the reality is, I'm talking about what's going on right now. We're talking about what you got right now. But you are right. Right now means changing as we go forward. But we do have to deal with what we have right now, and we do have people in homes, under the bridges, wherever they are. We do have people that have some level of education. He just said 4th grade. I beg to differ. We still got some others too. But if you are shot and dead or maimed, you ain't doing jack. And I don't think people understand that. We got to reach our legislators and have them start changing some of these laws and things so we can get some order back to some things that can make us safer.
But all you're going to do is put shitty people in clean houses and they're going to turn them to hell. Like this young lady on here that's telling us about this. I give it 2 months. It's gonna be like a hellhole. It's gonna be drugs all through there. They're gonna be smoking in the hallway. It's gonna be a filthy, nasty, disgusting place.
No, this is gonna be I know this is affiliated because you mentioned this Athena. How does the city play a role into this?
So we have to make sure that it's affordable, that a certain percentage of the units are affordable. And for Austin, affordable is the lower income bracket under 60% AMI. And then basically it's a certain amount of period of time that they'll be sort of the watchdog over that. So that's the biggest part.
Oh, okay. No, because what he was saying is that when you bring lower income people into, these nicer properties like this, undoubtedly the degradation starts. So he said
part of our application process, they will have to go through rental counseling, and then after they go through rental counseling, they have to agree to case management for the entire time that they're in the building. Each floor will have a floor leader, and then there'll be a civic meeting once a month for each floor, and then for the building quarterly. So that's part of our requirements for people that want to live in the building.
Wait, so you checking into people's houses?
What do you say?
He said, will y'all be checking into people's houses?
No, we can't do that.
No.
We still have to follow fair housing laws. We still have to follow residential tenant law ordinance. We have to follow all the laws. We're just taking it an extra step because, again, this is a $53 million project. We want people to take ownership of it. We want people to your point, we don't want 2 months to come by and it's looking like a project. That's not the plan.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna tear it up. They're gonna tear it up because Pangea got the same clauses you just named. I lived at 5501 West Washington. It's a Pangea building, lower income. I lived in that building, and when you sign a lease, they got the same clause you just said. That's just standard. That's just standard. They're gonna tear that building up though.
Nah. So she
Both
said,
of them gonna tear it up.
Nah. Well, he was saying that he lived in the Pangea building, 5501 West Washington, and he said they had the same kind of clause. And I was pushing back. I'm saying, nah. What she was saying is that for folks that apply, they have to do housing counseling. They will have a case manager that's paired with them through the entire duration that they're in the building. They have to have a floor leader and have monthly meetings geared towards the civics of the floor. And then as a group, they have to have quarterly meetings to talk about the building and all of that civic activity as a whole. So I could confidently
It's the same thing. Like, they're going to tear the building up.
Tell me and Pangea, y'all came together to talk about y'all floor.
No, but what I'm saying is, bro, you see, you don't understand because you never lived in these type of areas with these people. When you have a medium income of $38,000 type of people, that's going to bring a certain type of person. That's going to bring us, and it's going to be mostly young people working very low, like crazy low entry barrier jobs. Like, I don't care how many meetings you have. You're finna bring weed smoking, my cousin a four corner hustler type people in this building, and it's gonna be toe up. They're gonna tear the building up because they're not educated.
I hear you. Okay. So he's saying with the threshold being where it is, you're undoubtedly going to get them and they cousins, and that is going to lead to the degradation of the building. So to that end, then what's the preparation for that? I'm not saying like we gotta police our people, but how do you make sure that, and again, this is a $53 million property. I think, let me just say this. One of the things that we got to look at it too is that we are investing in our own community by doing this. I mean, part of it is that, the money isn't, $53 million didn't come from Black people specifically, but there is an investment there for Black people. Everything else, Pangea, for example, that's a group of white people. They don't give a damn how those buildings look, long as y'all cashing them out. They don't give a damn. And so there's a little bit more of a sense of pride in this particular property because it's an investment by people that look like the people that will be there. And I think that matters too. So that's all I wanted to add.
It don't, but okay.
I mean, well, you know, it's
Look at our politicians, bro.
Hear you though.
Since when somebody being black mean they for me? Look at our politicians doing to the community and the type of people they bring in. That don't mean squat.
So let me ask him something. Because I mean, you just talked about a state that our people are in, right? And
yes, I did, sister.
And it's almost like, you know, there's a vote of no confidence for our people. What do you think it would take to help us turn that around? Two things.
Okay. So
turn around those people and then help turn around.
No, go ahead, Athena. Help turn around the people and then
help turn around your confidence level in our people.
Okay, cool. Easy. First one, voting. You got to stop especially the older people, because the older people in Austin are the people who's voting. They're voting for the same people. They are voting for the same people, sister, and they don't do no freaking research. They don't read about the person. They don't look at they watch one news thing all their life and they vote the same. Stop voting the same. I'm not saying vote Republican. Forget Donald Trump. Forget him. He's a loser, whatever. Stop voting the same. Because doing the same thing and getting the same outcome is insanity. That's number one. And the second thing is education. When you are educated and you actually know some things, you make different decisions. You just make totally different decisions in life. So the older people got to stop voting the same. And then we just got to educate the young people coming in. Just get better education for them. That'll solve it.
Let me respond to that. Number one, as far as voting the same, why don't you find some people that we can vote for? You're young. You're brilliant. I'm sure you would be a good candidate.
Oh, I would be a really good candidate.
I know, because you checking out the topic. Now, the second thing you said was regarding education, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're saying that you make better decisions when you're educated, what about when you're just trying to start? You're not educated. What it takes is attitude. If you don't have the right attitude to listen, you ain't gonna never get educated. It don't even matter. You gotta
listen to who?
Nobody wakes up and says, "No, I'm educated." No, you have to be receptive. You have to be in the right mindset, as they say, to receive some education. Education starts at home. It starts at home, and then it goes abroad. So you can't really say education is the key until you understand that you got to have the right attitude to listen, learn, listen, and what? Love.
Education gives you the right attitude, Steve. You're learning from your teachers. You're learning from older people who's giving you wisdom. You're reading books. You're reading story. You're exercising your brain.
Before you go to a formal education, you start at home. That's it. You got it. Nobody starts at the school level.
Okay, so cool. But if we start at home, that's a whole different concept at that point. At that point, you start from home. Stop telling the black women going for the thugs, getting popped off by thugs, raising single moms.
We were talking about children the other day. Remember DeAndre? And I told DeAndre, we were talking about how does the kids learn to love or something like that? Respect.
No, it was what was it was
be respectful. How does the kid learn to be respectful? Wasn't it?
I mean, no, not respect. It was collaboration and nice.
Yeah,
it was about like collaboration.
Yeah.
So it was about being nice.
Right. Right. And I had to enlighten DeAndre about his own child. He's like, well, she's too young, and I'm like, no, man, she isn't. She understands. Whatever you teaching her, she understands, because when he leaves it with me and he'll say, "This Steve, stay with Steve while I do this meeting or whatever, while I'm over here," she minds me. She doesn't run off. She doesn't go sporadic on anything. She does what he tells her to do, and she won't even look for him and be like, "Well, my dad, what is you know?" She minds him. So education starts at home.
Yeah, for sure.
It was kindness and collaboration.
Oh, what was it? Go ahead, Raheem. What was it again?
Kindness and collaboration.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, nice is still the same, right? Butchers the whole thing up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the first.
But you at school for 8 hours though, Steve. You at school more than you at home.
No, not when you first little, you know.
I mean, you start going to school. These kids go start going to school at 2, 3. My mama was in daycare. I was in daycare since a little kid. My little brother grew up in the daycare. He had never not been to school since he was a newborn because my mom worked at daycare. So
how'd that work out?
Well, it worked out pretty decent. You feel me? Like I'm doing pretty good now. He is a Gen Zer. My brother is a Gen Zer. So he's doing Gen Z things, you feel me? So I will say that, but again, education, you make better decisions. You got to get it from school.
You have some well-informed decisions, but you can get well-informed decisions.
Don't you think school helped you out, Steve?
Oh, almost definitely. But
so why we can't get the same experience?
No, you can, but I'm saying, don't misunderstand that it's the catch-all, be-all. You gotta have something. Some people, you know what get me the most? The guy that did 20 years in prison. Now he's the most educated person in the world. He done read every encyclopedia, every dictionary, every Bible, Quran, Torah, every world. And now you won't come out and teach the world. You probably could, but why did you go 20 years in prison? Okay, yeah, some people in there, like they always say, I ain't did nothing. Everybody in jail ain't done nothing. But that's not true either. But
don't they come out better people when they become educated? Like you said this, you learn when you learn. You learn when you learn.
I say they should be, but is the correctional system or the rehabilitation system, is it really rehabilitating people? Honestly.
No, I don't think so. No. There's only a few people who come back educated. Most people I know came back, did the same exact thing.
Right. Hey, we getting up there, y'all, but we can go another 5 more if y'all want to. Arnold, we ain't heard nothing from you all night, man. What you got?
Hello?
Yes, indeed. Arnold Beard.
Hey, I'm going to bring my letter next Sunday. Because I took it today. But just say hello to everyone, join the conversation, and just want to support Althena. I think that's Althena, right?
Yes, it is.
I just want to say hello, Althena. This is Arnold.
Hey, Arnold.
And just only question I had in regards to that development. I know there was talk of it. How was impact study done for that zip or zone area or track area in regards to available housing and what pricing? Because I had a conversation years ago as to the impact for Miss Jacobs of 2 or 3 unit buildings around there and offering that kind of assistance for rental assistance based upon the rent. Because if you had a person who had some rent money, I'm just saying wherever that would be, then they obviously gonna look for a safe, quiet community, number one. I think the property, the building, the programs offers that. Because I know in that adjacent area, there's some concern with a lot of the brothers hanging out at that, I think the gas station across the street, right?
Yeah.
But more or less, I was just, the question was put to me, if I had this kind of income, would I move in Europe? New, I mean, it's new and all that. And you say how many units of is going to be available?
78 units.
78, and I think, how many of them gonna be set aside I don't know, whatever, low income or whatever?
Yeah, so it's about 40. So half of it is low income, the other half is market rate. But again, market rate in Austin meets the low income amount.
Okay, is that based on medium income?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Is that based on medium income?
Based on area median income, right?
Okay, all right. So again, I guess the question is, if I had whatever amount of income and I want to see what's best for me and my family, whether I'm single or married with 1 or 2 kids, and what's offered, consider safety and newness, you might say, where would I move or where would I be? Because like you say, it's only so many people gonna have income for whatever units that's marketed for their income.
So you said the question is, where would you?
Yeah, if I had some money and if I had to move in this area, taking all the considerations of safety, property, as I heard some of the discussion, talking about they're gonna tear up the apartments and all that, and because there was a meeting years ago, I was talking with Miss Jenkins about this when I heard about this development. We were just kicking around, and some of the people was talking about would there be available units for their income, and they took into account of the safety factor. Like I said, that's always first, and then the makeup of the property, if it's new or how old, because if it's old, it may need some repairs, and I'm paying all this rent and some problems come up. So that's about all I have to say, not to confuse anybody.
Let me just say this to you, Arnold. If you know better, don't do better. That's all to it.
Hey, I get it.
If you got, let's just say, like my man always say, Donald Trump money, you be sitting in Mar-a-Lago, I guess. I don't know. Well, he gonna be sitting in Sing Sing, so I don't know.
So again, this is where we have to come together as a community, Arnold, as far as the safety and that Citgo being a hot spot. So what we did, as in the housing center, we actually formed a small public safety committee of residents that live between, and we've been working on this for 3 years. So residents that live from Cicero to Austin, from Ohio to Augusta, we've been recruiting residents to be ambassadors for that project, and we have a small public safety committee, right? That public safety committee is working close with 15th District, CAPS Department, and as you know, Pastor Epstein has a night walks program. And so we lately, since we knew that the construction was starting, we're trying to coordinate specific nights to be in specific areas just around the bank building so that we can bring more attention to more of the community around the bank building. Since, to your point, it's going to be something new. But again, to me, this is where all the community needs to come together. I mean, are we saying we can't work within our own people to bring something better for the community? Do we have to keep accepting properties that look like Pangea?
No.
I mean, when can we come together to have something better and work with each other for something better?
Right on. Yeah.
Hey, and last, I just wanted to ask, I know some controversy about the contracts and all that. Did that ever get resolved with what's that they call a community agreement?
Community benefits agreement.
Yeah, whatever came of that in regards to that FOB's work and all that.
This project didn't have a community benefits agreement because this project actually was birthed out of community. So in 2019, there was a community meeting where the community came together over at Caron Center to talk about what they wanted in the building, and that's why the city has made this big investment to bring this property here.
Okay.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, where is this building located? I missed that.
The exact address is 5206 to 5226 West Chicago Avenue.
Man, that man don't know where that's at. That's the bank building, Mosaic, on Chicago Avenue, right across the street from the gas station.
Dunkin' Donuts, yeah.
You know where you used to buy your weed on that corner?
Nah, he knows.
Oh no. Wait, Chicago Avenue on what though? What's the cross street?
You know where Jeff used to live, right there. You know where LeClaire at, right? Where Jeff used to live.
I got robbed.
Now you know from Chicago Avenue, you know the gas station right there on the corner.
That's Laramie.
Now you know right across was like that little. It used to be a banquet hall. It run down. You feel me? That was the bank before.
Next to the dentist office.
Nah, where you used to buy your weed at that gas station? Just look west,
man.
You mean right there? Yeah, I know somebody. Yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, it's bad as hell right there.
Hey, Lance, I got a quick one. Whatever happened to the landmark status? Was it ever done on that building, Althena?
Yeah, that's one of the things that took so long. So we now have national landmark status, and state landmark status, and city landmark status.
That's a beautiful building.
Athena, I got a picture of that building from like 1902, 1908. An old black and white picture of that building. It's amazing.
Sometimes I wish we could modernize everything, because I really love the old school architecture that we have. It made it feel more regal and
craftsmanship. It was
because if you look at that building, I mean, you have to really look at it. It still has like all the old engravings on that side.
Right.
Art Deco, what they call them.
Love that.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I hope the people on this call, even if you don't show up on Thursday, even somehow you connect us, so that as I'm having these community meetings around the building, they can be the first to find people to apply. Because I'm going to tell you all, our people need to apply to live in the building. Everybody has to apply. And to the young man who said they're going to be in there smoking weed, we don't want to evict anybody, but we do have an eviction clause.
There you go.
And Steve,
so you're going to create another homeless person.
I know the eviction process very well.
So you ain't gonna be able to smoke outside on the
Nah.
Come on,
Nah.
Man. Everybody can't deal with it, man.
Y'all doing you know what?
Well, send me the information, Althena.
Man, the Stones finna take that building over.
Go ahead and say it one more time. Get a time and dates for these events so we can start wrapping up. We're gonna let her
Okay, yeah. So conference number 1 is Thursday, April 25th. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. The address is 1841 North Laramie. That's the brand new By the Hand Community Center.
That's the intentional sport.
Yeah.
Laramie and Bloomingdale.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Plenty of parking. And then on Saturday, April 27th, part 2 begins at 10 a.m. and goes till 4. And that's at Michelle Clark High School. 5101 West Harrison. So DeAndre and Steve, if you all want to share this with your network, share the flyer.
Okay.
You send me both flyers or just one flyer? Or
everything is on one flyer.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
And Arnold, I'll text it to you because I do have your
I can send it to Arnold. No, you can't do it. You do that.
I'm gonna send it to Arnold right now.
Yeah. You can send it to his email if you got it. All right, y'all. We already passed the hour, about 25 minutes.
Start going around.
Yeah, let's see. Anybody got anything to add? Arnold, you got anything to add to this conversation this evening?
Hello?
Yeah, what do you have for us?
Oh, no, nothing. I just enjoyed the conversation. Just say hello and hi to the family. That's all.
All right. How about you, Tiny? What you got for us in conclusion?
Well, I think you guys are right. Education is the key, and I think it starts in the home. And you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
All right, Tiny. How about you, Anthony Bingham? What you know good? You got anything for the show in conclusion?
Everything going on pretty good with me, and I enjoyed what I heard tonight. And like they said, education is the key, family structure is the key, and the parents have to take more responsibility for the young ones.
Right on, right on. How about you, Miss J? What you got to say? Ms. Jacobs, what you got in conclusion for us? How about you? Okay, then we'll come back, Ms. J. How about you, Ella Houston? Ms. Houston, what you know good?
Very interesting conversations. So I enjoyed it, and the pros and the cons and the different opinions, and thank you all.
Mm-hmm. Let's stay on it. How about you, Mosaic? What you got for us in conclusion?
Just to all my my plantation people, get off that plantation and vote different.
Says the guy that doesn't even register to vote. Raheem, what you got for us, Dr. Raheem?
Hey, great conversation tonight, fellas. Thanks again, DeAndre, for coming out earlier, helping out with the Father's Feed. And yeah, I look forward to the next one next week.
Gotcha. We got somebody on the iPhone. Who we got on the iPhone?
It's me. It's April. Steve, I did send you a flyer concerning tomorrow for Commissioner Stanton for those homeowners with the property tax to make sure that they got the exemptions together.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, from 10 to 1 over at her office.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna have to be there.
Where is that at?
Charles Stamp's office on right next to CD Cleaners on North Avenue in Toma. What is that?
Okay, that's tomorrow.
Yes. It's at. Wait, let me look it up. Go ahead. The next person. Who got else on there? Ms. Jacobs, you got anything in conclusion?
No, I'm just saying that we're talking about it. We got to be about it. It's a lot of work we got to do.
I hear you. We got to put it all in perspective, right?
That's right.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate everybody coming on tonight. You know, it was a nice day. We didn't get the the other two guests we were supposed to have, but hopefully we'll get them next time. That's Tommy Simmons and Elise Edwards from District Council. But what you got, DeAndre, to conclude? Take us out.
Yeah, not much, man. Folks just got to build some different skills, man. Let's get a little bit into this technology, into this finance. Let's figure out how to get some content creation and generation going so that we can add a few extra dollars, man, and, you know, help, supplement our income so that the government isn't doing it for us because they ain't doing it for us. That's it.
That's right. I love that. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit more information to make us smarter, so we ain't got to work harder and we can get through all this together. That's it, D?
That's
what you got?
All right, y'all. So y'all know how we do this thing every Sunday between 6 and 8. We bring you to Northwest Austin Council. We got various ways to interact with the show. Facebook, YouTube, Zoom. If you're on the Facebook or the YouTube, just type your comment in. We can bring you right into the conversation that way. Unless you want to come on the Zoom, you right in. You come off mute and we just have this conversation. Other than that, you know, I always like to say in closing, we have open seats at the table. We're just trying to welcome y'all home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Have a good night.
Later, y'all.
Good night.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Good night.
Peace. Have a good night.